Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Turn the Tassel Show. My name is Stephen Ampersand. I'm your host, and as always, we're here to help you and the people you love get to and through college, university, or the trade schools earlier on time with minimum to no debt. We're continuing today in our series on the college completion crisis, toying with the idea of calling it C-cubed, college completion crisis. And we're talking about issues pertaining to students not completing their college education and ultimately the ramifications that has for them, but also for society at large. And so we're going to jump back in today. I've got a little bit longer video today, so I'm going to do less commentary. I'll chime in and make some points here and there, but for the most part, I want you to hear it because people are trying to address this from multiple angles. And one of the things that we do realize is that for underrepresented, underserved students, folks who are coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, some of whom are persons of color, etc., this whole idea of, college is inaccessible and not available to them. We're going to learn some things that may challenge that a bit. And also really question whether or not it's something that should be a consideration for everyone in the first place. And I know a lot of people are of the mindset that college is for everybody. I'm not one of those people. And it doesn't, to me, have anything to do with aptitude or ability. I think it has to do with fit and personality. You can have really intelligent, smart people that college would never work for because the idea of sitting in a classroom and or virtually studying and it's just not tenable. They want to be out using their hands. So that's where our trades come in, right? But we're going to go ahead without further ado and cut to camera 2 so we can look at this video. The BA breakthrough, how ending diploma disparities can change the face of America. And again, this is around addressing the disparities and who has a degree and who doesn't. So without further ado, let's cut to camera number 2.
When you're talking about low-income students who do not have college-educated parents, the statistics around them graduating from college are very low.
The low-income kids, they never really get a shot at the higher track.
Students are showing up at college and struggling there. As a result, they're stopping out or dropping out, not earning their degrees.
The number at this point is about 13% nationally.
Wow.
We've got a great record of getting first-generation kids into college and an absolutely abysmal record of getting them through college.
So think about 100 kids in a room that you've taught that have graduated from high school, let's say, and of your class of 100 students, only 13 get to finish.
Yikes. That's awful.
Those are numbers that should scare people.
Yeah.
I decided to write a book about what it takes to get some of these low-income minority kids to succeed in college, not just get into college, but succeed in college.
Right. Oh,
I'm Richard Whitmire, and I'm the author of...
I know I said I wouldn't do a bunch of this, but I got to stop the show here. Let me just jump back real quick. Again, it's not just about getting to college. I'm just going to tell you, that's easy to do now because the money's there. They want you to come. It's about getting to college and getting through college earlier or on time with minimum to no debt. All right, let's go back.
Breakthrough. I decided that I take a look at how the charters were doing on their core promise made to the parents, which was right from the beginning, if you sign our child up for our charter school, your child will have a better chance of getting into college and through college. So I was able to go to the big charter networks that had enough graduates at the 6-year point, and I was surprised by what I found.
Certainly at KIPP, the first group of kids graduated from college in 2007, right? And so that was the first data point for KIPP.
Let me stop here real quick. I won't come all the way out, but here's the thing. So 6 years is important because, community college students, 6 years, let's go back. 6 years is the national average time it takes to complete a college degree, a bachelor's degree in America these days. I've discussed this ad nauseum and how nauseating that is because it's a 4-year credential. But essentially what he just said is that he went and looked at the 6-year completion time frame from the folks that were coming out of these large networks of charter schools, and he was unpleasantly surprised that so few people were actually graduating. Anywhere between 11 and 13% is what I think the number ultimately was. So we're just going to go ahead and say on that. Let's keep going.
The data that we found was that for that first cohort of kids, there were, approximately 40 of them, and of those 40, less than 10 graduated within 4.
What KIPP discovered early on is that giving students a good K-12 education is important, but it's not enough. And so they throw up their hands and go, what do we do? So they had to start from scratch.
Oh my goodness, pause that.
And that's what these charter networks have had to do.
They realized they were getting them to college, but they weren't prepared.
I attended college at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. My first year was by far my roughest year of college. Sitting side by side in the class with someone who grew up with having it all was like a culture shock for me.
And we did talk to them a lot about what were the enabling conditions that allowed you to do really well. Obviously, it's different for every kid.
So it took a toll on just my entire concept of, is college the right thing for me?
The KIPP through College program was sort of unique in that it kind of looked at kind of having that mentoring person from your middle school, right? Be able to support you.
So important.
In sort of that quest to get that degree was pretty revolutionary.
And then once I started looking at what colleges are doing, I realized that there's been an awakening. The universities started reaching out to these students, making their life on campus more comfortable, if you will.
Throughout my college years, I stayed in close contact with my mentors from middle school and high school, and it was monumental. It really helped throughout.
Can't overemphasize that.
What the charters are doing, they're democratizing college, if you will. They're saying, these kids deserve a shot at college as well.
One of the things that Democracy Prep has done was not just to build a K-12 system, but actually to build an organization that supports alumni after they leave the 12th grade. Sometimes we learned in our first few years that the reason a student didn't return to college after their first semester was because they couldn't afford the bus ticket to upstate New York. And so for $60 in cash, a student was choosing to miss out on an entire semester of college. And so these microgrants were ways to support them in their financial challenges of getting to and through college.
What's interesting about the microgrants is there's a revolution, I think of it, as people setting up money that covers small things. Then you can set up your own microgrant. Then the people at the high school, for example, or the college could give them that money to see them through and ensure that they don't drop out.
Critically important.
And then the colleges themselves, it's where the biggest revolution has to take place. For years, especially the elite colleges have taken almost no community college students.
So 40% of all undergraduate students start in community college, and 80% of those students want a bachelor's degree. The problem is only 14% of them get one within 6 years of entering community college.
What's interesting about the potential for community college transfer.
And that's saying something because remember, you're transferring in many respects, you're transferring in from the community college with a 2-year associate degree. Now, that's not true for many, though. Many will start at the community college, show they can do a semester, and succeed at the college level, and then they will get provisional admittance into the 4-year that they wanted. So it's not exactly as open and shut as what it sounded like right there. Folks that come in with an associate degree, statistically do significantly better and finish much sooner. Let's keep going.
And should be appealing to even elite universities. And I would encourage anyone to go visit UCLA. And they take hundreds of community college transfers.
They're bankable students.
Almost 20 years ago now, I helped the chancellor and vice chancellor create a strategy for increasing diversity with transfer students.
Those that haven't.
So our work focuses on students who are at community colleges who are essentially underrepresented in higher education. And our work focuses on helping them understand, one, why they need to be at a university, and two, how to get to a university.
What's remarkable about UCLA is that a full third of its students are transfer students. They come from community college. This is unusual for a highly selective 4-year institution.
It's about options. If students want to go the vocational tech route, let them. But we want to make sure that they have the choice to make that choice.
So UCLA has done a great job in serving transfer students. They do it through a number of different means. They have really strong advising systems. They have great summer institutes where they're working to bridge the gap between 2- and 4-year schools.
So for us, access means nothing unless we're preparing them to graduate.
My question is, why is UCLA so rare? Why aren't more elite universities taking in large numbers of community college transfers? So for someone reading this book, I want them to come away with the idea that good things can happen, that it's possible to make progress here.
For first-generation college graduates like myself, I feel like it would be cliche to say, if I could do it, you could too. But I would revise it to say, if I could do it, you could too. And here, let me show you how.
Awesome. And I'm going to stop the video there. I will put the link to the description. Put the link to this video in the description so that you can finish this out. But again, as a first-generation college student, and not just college student, a first-generation college graduate myself, I can say that she is spot on. Mentorship is so key. You got to have it. It's the only reason why and how I was able to get to and through college myself. And it didn't happen for me earlier on time. It took me a decade to get my bachelor's degree. So I'm way outside of the curve on that, which is why I am well equipped, and so is my team, to help you get to and through earlier on time with minimum to no debt. We will, as she says, show you how it's done. And not just show you, we will walk with you as we craft the plan, execute the plan, and provide the necessary accountability, encouragement, and support to get it done. Email us, turningtassel@gmail.com. I need a plan. Text us, 484-574-1866. I need a plan. We'll schedule a free consultation to help you get to and through college, trades, or university earlier on time with minimum to no debt. I'm Stephen Ampersand, and this is the Turn Tassel Show.